I think that the internet has ruined the business funding for everyone, because the perception is you can just open a business and get funded. Let's choose a side. Let's fire those shots, right? Because 99.9% of the stuff you see on the internet is wrong. You're not getting money tomorrow. But my favorite one is the young lady who runs down the stairs screaming giddily, I just got a $40,000 check from Bank of America. I got an SBA loan approved in 2 days. Right?
I would love to see that.
At the end of the day, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Let me ask you a question, Roger.
Yeah.
What's your biggest asset in business?
I want to hear what you have to say about it now. I don't even want to know what mine is. Yeah.
Can't make more time. Is money as valuable as time? No. It's not even the same ballpark.
Not at all.
Now, when you don't have any money, it's really close. Right? Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How about you?
Can't complain, sir. Nobody listens. This is a podcast, right? So this is like Two Bears, One Cave with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. Maybe Joey Diaz will pop in at some point, right? You never
Hopefully,
know.
You never know. So, George, just to start, before we get into like the details of questions and everything, I wanted to talk about kind of your journey and like how you got into business credit.
Great. So I'm an old guy, and I've been in the mortgage business for about 30 years, right? So the first loan that I wrote was like at 18.5%. We had to mail away for credit, and the appraisal came back. Remember the Polaroid cameras where you push the button, and those kind of pictures were glued on to the appraisal with pencil sketches of the rooms. So when I started in finance way back when, it was a totally different ball game. And the knowledge that I've put together over the last 30 years has encompassed both residential mortgage, commercial mortgage, and then I became really interested in business finance and business funding. Okay. And I feel that small business owners should be a protected class, right? So if you ask me what I'm passionate about, it's helping small business owners succeed and helping them elevate their businesses. Because honestly, you don't know what you don't know. And this is not remember they used to have the good old boys investor groups where they would trade properties back and forth between them. It's not like that anymore. With the technology that's available today, a business owner doesn't really have a shot with a relationship if they don't have the goods behind it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So telling people what they need to do to qualify, and it's not that I'm trying to be bossy or a bully or anything, but it's important that if you don't know what you don't know, then you find someone to help you figure it out. And that's what I like to do.
That's a gem in itself. If you don't know what you don't know, find somebody to do it for you. That's one of the biggest hurdles that I ran into with the real estate. Which we'll talk more about that after. But realistically, for listeners unfamiliar with the concept, how would you explain business credit and why it's critical to entrepreneurs, especially to the small business owner?
All right, so business credit has changed quite a bit in the last 15 years even, right? It used to be you could separate your personal credit from your business credit. It used to be that you can get lots of funding just on your business name without them looking at your personal history, your personal liabilities, and your personal journey. However, with the advent of FICO SBSS, that's all changed. FICO SBSS, Small Business Scoring System, 35% of that score is based on your personal finance, right? So are banks looking now? Yes. Are they using that to make a determination now? Yes. Can you walk in with an 80 paydex score and get a $100,000 line of credit for your business without a personal guarantee? No. Right? No.
I mean, that's a hot topic right now on the internet. All these, no shots fired at anybody, but it's a hot topic. All this, you know,
No,
getting
Roger,
100,000 over.
let's choose a side. Let's fire those shots, right?
Oh, so
Because
let's do it.
99.9% of the stuff you see on the internet is wrong. You're not getting money tomorrow. But my favorite one is the young lady who runs down the stairs screaming giddily, I just got a $40,000 check from Bank of America. For what? How did you do that? I got an SBA loan approved in 2 days. No, you didn't. Right?
I would love to see that.
So it's not even that. It's trying to debunk those myths, because at the end of the day, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Right? Now, are there those business owners that can walk into their bank and walk out with $1 million line of credit? Absolutely. They're called Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, not George Wisniewski. Right? Because I am not a bankable business. And let's define that term really well. You can bank with Wells Fargo Bank. You can have your business checking account there. That doesn't mean they're going to give you any money. Right? Do you know what percentage? No, first of all, Roger, do you know the statistics the last 2 years or how many new small businesses were open?
Millions of 10 million,
5
some
million each year.
5 million each year.
Now, after the pandemic was over, or mostly over now, right? There are more people that were working W-2 positions that are now first forced into gig working positions. Kind of like, look at the home healthcare industry, right? The home healthcare industry and home health aides, they were being paid W-2 by a company.
Yeah.
They're being paid 1099 now. So are they a business owner? Technically, yes. Let's look at the advent of the rideshare industry. Uber and Lyft and Postmates and
Big one.
Grubhub and DoorDash. These people are all self-employed,
Absolutely.
right? These are all business owners, and they do not understand, number one, how to do their taxes properly. And let's rip this Band-Aid off now. If you're a business owner and you're doing your own taxes, you have a fool for a client, right?
Let's give it to them raw, huh?
Find a CPA. Find a tax preparer. Find out why, if you're not filing quarterly, why you're not filing quarterly. It costs more money, but look at certain types of funding that are out there. They're going to require you to file quarterly. Let's say you're applying for a business term loan today. They're going to ask you for an audited P&L, meaning that you can't provide them that P&L. Your tax preparer has to do it, right? A professional has to do it. They're asking for a balance sheet, a cash flow statement, possibly a pro forma. As a small business owner, Roger, did you know how to do that when you first got in business?
Absolutely not.
Can you do it now, or do you have your CPA do it for you?
If I did everything for the business myself, I'd be a fool. The business wouldn't go anywhere.
So being a business owner, in my opinion, is like having 2 full-time jobs.
Absolutely. Sometimes 3.
Sometimes 3. And if you're doing all the financials for your business, and if you're searching for working capital for your business, and if you're looking to grow your business, and you don't know what you don't know, you're going to find that you're going to fund your business from your personal finances. We see it time and time again. I see it 100 times a day sometimes, right? Why is your utilization rate on your personal credit card so high? Well, because the business needs money and I don't know where else to get it. Okay? That's understandable. When is the business going to pay you back? What? So there's no separation between the person and the business. And typically, the person is the business. And part of what we try and do to help people understand that is to put a separation between the person and the business. I talked to a lady that owned a pottery company. And she said to me, well, I make a great salary. I pay myself $1,000 a week. I'm like, that's awesome. How many hours a week do you work? She's like, 100.
Wow.
And I said to her, you don't own a business. Yes, I do. No, you have a job. And you're making below minimum wage. And you need to start hiring people. But people only come there because I'm there. Well, then be the face of the business and not the backbone. Understand that you need to separate. You need to work for your business, and you need to work on your business instead of working in your business. And that's what small business owners, in my opinion, have the biggest problem doing. The business is them. So they're wearing that character all day long. And when they go to sleep at night, they're dreaming about, I need to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I need to proof the dough if I'm a food truck person and I'm making donuts or whatever I'm making, whatever I'm doing, whatever my widget is, right? The holidays are coming. How am I going to get through the holidays? What do I have to do? What's my Black Friday sale going to be like? What's my Cyber Monday sale going to be like? What's this? What's that? What's the third, right? They don't have a team around them to be able to help them with this. Now, they need help. And are they too proud to ask for it? Sometimes. Do they not know that help is available? Sometimes. When they see on the internet, you can get money in one day, and they do not qualify for that, or they don't get that. Are they still looking for that money? No. I got turned down. What am I supposed to do now? No one wants to help me. So it turns into the victim syndrome, right? Now, I could talk all day about this, but I know you have some very specific questions for me.
Oh no, please do. Just
You want me to stand on that soapbox all day? I'll stand on the soapbox
listen,
all day.
once you're tired, I'll go to another question, and but until then.
You know me, brother. I never get tired of talking about this. This is what I believe in, right?
I mean, to be honest, this message, realistically, even me as a small business owner, that this is what I needed. This is, we scaled up to 20 units of real estate and hit this wall at that point, and it's just like, it was like, whoa. And at that point, to be honest, we weren't even really a small business, but we weren't looked at as even a bankable business because we weren't set up correctly.
You're not a bankable business yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what percentage of that 5 million business owners are bankable?
1 maybe.
0.5%. 0.5% of small business owners are bankable. What is that? Let's define what that means. I know I started doing that before and I went into a rabbit hole. Bankable finance means you can walk into the bank. Now, bank lender. Bank has a depository. That's how I'm going to define it on this call, right? So if you could walk into Chase Bank and open a checking account, that's a bank. Do they also offer lending at Chase Bank? Yes. Do they also offer business lending at Chase Bank? Yes. Does that money cost a lot of money? It's the lowest fee that you're going to pay for money when you go to a bank that's out there, right? Now, realize in business funding, the terms are going to be short. The interest rates are going to be high. And when you are in what we call non-bankable or non-traditional funding, there is going to be a funding fee. Whichever company gets you that money is charging you a success fee. And it's typically between 10 and 15% of the loan amount.
Absolutely.
And that sounds like it's predatory. Sounds chokeable, right?
Hard money.
Well, here's the thing. Let's position it this way. What are you doing with the money? When you deploy these funds, how are these funds going to help you grow your business? Are you going to buy product and sell more product? If you're borrowing $100,000 and your funding fee is, let's say, $12,000, how much money are you going to make on that $100,000? Well, I'm going to buy, at this time of year, I'm in the pool business, right? Let's pick the pool business. And right now, I could buy pool kits. I buy 2, I get 1 free for above ground pools in the Midwest of the country. Just putting a random business together there, right? Maybe it's a good idea. So I at this point in the year, I'm saving 33%. So when I have this inventory, I'm making 33% more without changing my pricing by buying in bulk. That is the reason to get business funding. Now, Roger, if you said to me, I need to take a merchant cash advance for $25,000 to pay payroll to get through the holidays, that's not a good use for that money. Because instead of being out of business this month, you're going to be out of business next month. Right? So finding an advisor or finding a coach to teach you what to do with the money once you get, and not to be your boss, right? But in some cases, to show you exactly what you need to do to deploy those funds. And there are 25 different types of business funding. And they're all high interest and they're all short terms. The goal for the business owner should be to get their Band-Aid funding now, what they need, and then work to put their business in a bankable position. Work with an accredited bankable coach to put their business in a bankable position. What's that coach going to do? They're going to work with they're going to look at their personal credit. They're not going to work on it. They're not credit repair people, right? They're going to say, hey, you have high utilization ratios on your revolving accounts. Is that because your business is using your person as its piggy bank? Happens all the time. Yes. When is the business going to pay you back? So now we can identify a need for funding. Personal credit score is at 600 because of utilization. When you pay down your revolving accounts to, let's say, less than 30%, because that's the benchmark, right? That's not the actual true benchmark, but that's the perceived benchmark out there. 30% or less utilization ratio is good. Then your score is going to go up, maybe up to 700, maybe up to 750. Are you able to qualify for more funding at 750 than you are at 600? Yes. Does that matter when you're looking at your FICO SPSS score? Yes. Is that only one very little part of it? Yes. Let's look at the compliance aspects of your business. Do you have a website? Is your phone number a national registered 411 phone number? Do you have a business location? Or are you using a P.O. box? And if you're using a P.O. box, there's virtual offices out there will provide you a brick and mortar foundation, which will be acceptable for a bankable business. Do you have a business plan? Well, why do I need a business plan? I own a food truck. You're looking for an SBA loan eventually or a business term loan? They're going to ask you for your business plan. What does your pro forma say? I don't know what that means. I'm a pool guy. I don't know what any of this means. All I need to do is I need more money to buy more product to make more money. Great. You need to work with a coach to put you in a position to understand what your business does. Do you need to hire a fractional CFO? Now, for those people who don't understand what that is, that's a chief financial officer. Is that someone who owns your business? In some cases, sure, it could be within your business structure. But most entrepreneurs don't have a CFO. They wear all the hats. You're the CEO, the COO, the CFO, the CTO, the chief cook and bottle washer, the maintenance person. You do everything. And then the marketer, right? The digital marketing agency. And then at the end of the day, you got to go pick up the kids. Is your personal life suffering because of your business? Yes. And is your business suffering because of your personal life? Yes. Which is more important? Where's the balance there? So have you looked at a lot of conventions for small business owners? You've been to a BNI group?
No, actually.
No. So everybody looks really tired. They all have lots of coffee, right? They're all sitting there like this. Oh, I'm so tired, right? I need a Starbucks. That's why they have coffee and donuts at these places, because you need caffeine to be able to work your 20-hour day, right? Let's work smarter, because I think the big message here is you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
right? And there needs to be a place, a safe place where you can go to get that free and fair advice at first. If
That's
there's an
great.
investment, make the investment, but be informed. As a business owner, I've been a business owner and I've taken merchant cash advances and I've moved through all the different stages of business. And it's kind of like the seven rings of hell from Dante's The Inferno, right? There's a different hell in each section there. When you're opening the business, what do I do? What do I sell? Am I going to make it the first 18 months? Ring two is you've been in business for a year, and I'm just making this up as we're going along. I've been in business for a year, and now I need to scale. I've got proof of concept. I sell refrigerator magnets in the shape of frogs with cute little sayings on them. I call them fridgies. And I go to flea markets, and I charge $2 a piece, and they cost me 38 cents a piece to make. I'm going to go on Shark Tank. So, you ever see that guy on Shark Tank from the Scrubbies?
Yeah.
Multi-billionaire.
Oh man.
Needed funding. How many business owners do you know, Roger, that don't need funding?
Man, I wish I knew one.
I borrow money from
I need that friend.
them. And not even that, but is it really true that you don't need funding?
Yeah,
Or do you not need access to funding?
we all do.
So you ask them this question: can you go into your local bank and borrow money with no fee? Yeah, you're not my client. You are not my client. Thank you for not being my client. Right? So when you look at a business bank statement, and we're not going to pull one up, we can't do that. But let's look at a business bank statement. Let's see a charge for Raising Cane's and a charge for Acme Grocery Store or Stop and Shop or Wawa or should they be on your business bank account? No. Is a bank going to look at stuff like that? Yep. Why do you have, Mr. Wisniewski, why do you have 16 NSF charges in the month of September? And then, well, you see, what had happened was you are commingling your funds between your person and your business. And you really can't do that. And if you didn't know that, that's one of the things that you didn't know. Now that you know that, you got to stop it. Well, I don't file my taxes quarterly. Why? Well, I would rather pay the money once a year. But that's not how business works. Do you think that Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Warren Buffett don't have a CPA team filing their taxes quarterly or taking advantage of every tax shelter that's out there? Of course they do. And what the goal is there is to do what? To pay less tax. If you're doing TurboTax for your business, are you following any of those mantras? No, you're not. I talked to a business owner the other day. Roger hasn't filed taxes in 5 years. But he wanted $1 million line of credit. I'm like, you're never going to get it. Why not? I do millions of dollars worth of revenue, but you don't claim any income. You don't look good on paper. Well, I haven't gotten around to it. So you're telling me in 5 years, you just haven't gotten around to it. And he asked me, what kind of funding can you get from me? I'm like, we can get you a merchant cash advance. I'm not taking a merchant cash advance. I'm not paying through the nose like that. Merchant cash advance is not a good loan for a business owner, but if it's going to make you money, then it's a viable option. If you're borrowing $100,000 and your payback on that $100,000 is $150,000, is that really so bad?
I mean, if it makes you money.
Well, here's the thing. If you buy a $100,000 house in 30 years, how much are you going to be paying back?
Yeah. The amortization schedule on that is crazy.
$325,000. So, and that's a securitized loan at a 6% interest rate. That $50,000 fee that you're paying, and that's not a funding fee, that's what's called a factor rate. So how a merchant cash advance works, for those people out there in podcast land don't know, is they will factor the amount of money that you're borrowing. And let's say the factor rate is 1.5 because it could be that high. If you're borrowing $100,000, you're paying back $150,000, even if you pay it all back the next day. That's the way it works. It's a preset amount, and then they break that loan payment up into the amount of days in that term. And a typical merchant cash advance term is 180 days. And every Monday through Friday at 9:01 a.m., they're going to take one of those days of that payback out of your business bank account. And just like baseball, you have 3 strikes. You don't want to use any of those strikes. So here's how to properly use a merchant cash advance. Borrow more than you need to deploy by 2. If you need to deploy $50,000 and you can have access to $100,000, borrow $100,000, leave $50,000 in your business bank account to service the loan. That will service the loan for 90 days. You should have your return on your investment within those 90 days, right? Or plan that. Say, I need my return on my investment in 90 days on the money that I'm deploying. At that 90-day mark, that lender will offer to renew that loan for you as long as you've had good payment terms. They will offer you more money at a lower rate. And that's why we call a merchant cash advance loan a treadmill loan, because they've always taken that payment out every single day out of your account. And if you do it one time, you're going to renew it. And if you renew it one time, you're going to renew it a second time. So to break that cycle, what do you think we could do, Roger, to break that cycle?
Become bankable. That's what it is.
Become bankable. How do you do that? Well, Roger has a program that you'll work with an accredited bankable coach for up to a year that will make you accountable, right? Does that mean that you're going to press that button, pay that fee, and you're going to become bankable? No, there's hard work involved. You're going to have to follow what that coach says for you to do and complete your assignments. What kind of assignments? You're going to have to make sure that your lender compliance is up to date. If you don't have a website and you are, let's say, you're a refrigerator magnet person, put together a website. Won't be hard to do. And maybe through an e-commerce platform, you can make more money, right? Make sure that your phone number for your business is registered on the National 411 Registry. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. And you're going to click through that checklist. And as you progress through it, and as you're paying down the utilization ratio on your personal accounts, is that going to make your FICO SBSS score better? Yes. Is that bankable coach going to go through that program with you and show you what you look like on paper? Yes, because you don't know. And when you go into a bank and they tell you you're turned down, they're going to tell you why. Now, Roger, you ever walk into a bank and been turned down for a loan? I know I have.
Absolutely.
Do you remember why?
The most recent one, they didn't see the vision of the area that I was buying a house in, and boy, were they wrong.
So you had a difference of opinion with your banker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me, once they say no, I get up and walk away. I don't care anymore. I don't care why. Most business owners are like me, not like you, right? They told me no. F them. So when I talk to small business owners and I ask them who recently turned them down for a loan, they're like, why? And they get angry and they get emotional about it. They turned me down. Well, it's not personal. It's because you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know what to fix, how are you going to fix it? When you go to the doctor, they're going to tell you most of the time, hopefully, they're going to tell you what's wrong with you, right? and they're going to try and fix it and get you out of the hospital or get you off the medication. It's the same prescription here. It's the same diagnosis here. You're not bankable because X, Y, and Z reasons. You were turned down by Bank of America for X, Y, and Z reasons. We need to know what that information is. So, hey, why'd they turn you down? I don't know. I didn't listen. I got up and I ran away. And I went and I asked my mother to borrow $500,000 out of her 401k, and she told me no too. So no one wants to help me. That's because you need to learn how to help yourself. And the victim mentality is very prevalent in the small business owner mindset, right? You are not a victim. You have control of your own destiny. You just need to take that first step. And that first step is understanding why. And saying, okay, I know there's stuff there I don't know. I want to know what it is. Does that make any sense? Keep asking me your questions, Roger, because I'm getting a little bit tired of just taking
to be
stuff out
honest, this is great. I mean, going into that topic of understanding and seeing what you don't know, I would love to, honestly, although I have the answers to this too, I would love for you to share about our process here at Highscale Consulting when it comes to the bankable side. I want to talk more about our scan and how we offer this to business owners for free so that they can see and have this roadmap of at least that foundation of what needs to be done so that they can start to get to this. Because like I said, I mean, well, I haven't shared this, but I ran into this wall, and that's when the research and the things started going. And I'm just, I felt that way at first too. I didn't know, I didn't understand, but I also knew that there was a solution. I knew, my time on Wall Street as a financial advisor showed me what other businesses were doing, and to be honest, just a lot more information. So when I link these pieces together, it's just a game changer. So I'd like for you to kind of share on.
Sure. You were a financial advisor on Wall Street. That's a little intimidating, don't you think?
No,
you're working with little old food truck George. So here's the thing. All right, you go to the doctor. I don't feel well. What's the first thing they're going to have you do? All right, we need to send you out for blood work. You got to not eat that morning, no coffee, nothing after midnight. You go into Quest Diagnostics and they draw blood. And you have to wait a couple days and go back to the doctor and get the results. Well, our process is a lot faster than that, right? We have what we call a business success scan. And it runs 150 data point scan with not 150 questions asked. So the information is simple. When did you open your business? What kind of business is it? What's your major area of focus? What was your revenue last month? What do you do in Visa, MasterCard sales in a month? How do you personally assess your credit score? Right? Does anybody else owe you money? Do you have invoices you can't fill because of lack of inventory? What was your personal income last year? How do you personally assess your credit score? And do you have any invoices out there that you're waiting on getting unpaid on? Right? So there's a lot of business owners that have that stuff, like contractors, right? Roger, you work with contractors.
Absolutely.
A contractor has a roofing guy and a mud guy. Mud is like for the walls, right? And they've got the floor guy and they've got the lawn guy. And sometimes they do the work and the contractor has to pay them for that work because the general contractor gets paid. So these people all have invoices they're waiting to get paid on. These are all fundable activities, right? So once we get that scan completed, we've built the pre-qualification engine in there based on all these criteria to show you what kind of funding you can get now. Pre-qualification. What does that mean? Based on the answers that you put on that scan, and Roger wants to do the scan with you live, right? And here's the reason why. Because you don't know what you don't know. And if you're not going to complete the scan and take the next step to application on any pre-qualified funding, you're never going to know. It's still going to be a mystery.
Guys, we're going to incentivize you to finish the scan. Don't worry about it. You got everybody. You're going to finish the scan. It's only in your best interest. But go ahead, George.
All right. So that scan is the blood work. Once Roger has that scan, Dr. Roger is going to look at that scan and diagnose what the problems in your business are. Our business doesn't have any problems. Okay. Did you go to Chase and they turned you down for a loan? Yes, there's some problems. I'm not saying you don't have a viable business. What I am saying is there's an opportunity to move forward. Based on the criteria that you've punched in, you are pre-qualified for 4, 5, 1, 0 different types of funding. To take the next step, let's just integrate your personal credit report right into the system. It takes 2 minutes. Costs you $1. Then there's a monitoring fee after that. Is it a good idea to do the monitoring? Yeah, absolutely. How long does funding take? That's a question I get asked every day. Merchant cash advance could be days. Credit card stack could be weeks. Business term loan, SBA loan, the longest. When do you need the money? There's a question on the application. What is the most important thing to you? Low interest rate, no funding fee. Well, let's get out of fantasy land and let's move it to reality. And in non-bankable, non-traditional funding, you're going to pay a funding fee. And you're going to have a high interest rate, short-term loan. It's a Band-Aid. It's going to get you to the next step. We're going to diagnose the problems in your business and present you an offer to help your business get into the bankable situation. If you're getting a $100,000 loan and you're paying a $12,000 fee, does that hurt?
Absolutely.
But how much does it hurt?
It's
Does
better
it
than
hurt
not getting it.
enough? Does it hurt enough for you to invest money in your business to never pay that again?
And that's the main point. It hurts, but it doesn't have to be that way. And it's all about the knowledge and the information. That's really what it comes down to.
And maybe when we diagnose your business, maybe you'll never be a bankable company. Out of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of applications I've seen, we've turned down 2 or 3 people. Do you have the time to go through, and do you have the money to invest in your business? Is that money tax deductible? Yes. Is that funding fee tax deductible? Yes. I'm not going to give you legal advice. I'm not going to give you accounting advice. I'm only telling you this because I've deducted it from my taxes. Have I taken loans? Yes. Have I been through a coaching program? Yes. Now, Roger, let me ask you a question. Are you the type of business owner that wants to do this yourself through a virtual platform? Or are you the type of business owner that wants to do it with a coach that's going to be your accountability partner that's going to push you?
I'm the type of person that I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And it's the only way that I could go to the gym because there's people there, the coach is there. I'm accountable for being there. I have to show up. There's a team of people supporting the mission. I've tried to do it alone. It's not worth it. You don't really get anything done. You work too hard. You do so many things. You start to forget about family and this and that and the other. And it doesn't have to be that way because if you organize it correctly, then these are.
It's in my desk drawer. Is that where it's supposed to be?
Money coming out the account.
Case in point. It's in my desk drawer. Planet Fitness. We call it Planet Fatness in my house. Planet Fitness in my desk drawer. This should be on my key ring, and I should be using this every morning. Here's the point that I'm forcing. Roger has to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with a team to be able to get his fitness goals met. I, on the other hand, am like, oh, Planet Fitness, only $10 a month. That's a great deal. I'm saving some money. Now, if I spent $50 a week on a personal trainer or $10 a month at Planet Fitness, where am I going to be in better shape? Spending the $200 a month with a personal trainer.
That's spot on about what I spend, about $225 a month. And until I switched that thought process, I never actually worked out. But when I switched over and I spent a little bit more money, I got a lot more results. And again, a lot of the information, guys, is free. So I'm not selling you. But the truth is when I started to invest into the business, invest into employees, invest into contractors, instead of me YouTubing and renovating houses and doing things myself, things got faster, things got better, things got more efficient. We started to create networks. Things started to work out just overall. So, and I mean, that's how we scaled to 20 units. We wouldn't have gotten there if there wasn't a team in place for us to actually do that. And it's the same with Highscale Consulting. It's not just me. We have a team of over 10 people here to help. So
let me ask you a question, Roger.
Yeah.
What's your biggest asset in business?
Oh, that's deep.
No, it shouldn't be. It should be right at the tip of your tongue. But people don't think of it this way.
I want to hear what you have to say about it now. I don't even want to know what mine is. Yeah. You're absolutely. I'm saying it in different ways, and you're absolutely right. Yeah.
You can't make more time. Right now, are we stealing time from our families? Yes.
Absolutely.
As business owners, we want to provide for our families. But right now, we are stealing time from our families, and we're stealing experiences because we have to invest our time. Our biggest asset. Is money as valuable as time?
No.
It's not even the same ballpark.
Not at all.
Now, when you don't have any money, it's really close. Right? I mean, let's just be real. Well, but that sounds like, and people watching this probably, well, that sounds like a first world problem. No. You don't have any money, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right? But when you get to the point as a small business owner and you have access to money, does it matter how expensive it is? What's the value? I don't have to work 100 hours a week anymore. I only have to work 40 hours a week now. That's extra 60 hours. How much more money are you paying yourself by not working for an extra 60 hours? How much more time have you paid yourself?
It's to be honest, I'm a real estate agent here in Maryland, and
God bless you.
Very honest. The real estate business is completely automated. I don't do any of it. It gets done. I have employees. It gets done for me. They put it on my schedule. I show up. I do what I have to do. But it wouldn't be possible if it were. And to be honest, why wouldn't I do it when it makes me money? I don't have to do anything but listen to a schedule, and then it makes more money, and then they're happy, and then I'm happy, and then everybody's happy.
Now, real estate business. I have some experience in that. My girlfriend's a realtor. I've been in mortgage for 30 years. All right. So my girlfriend does real estate the other way. She invests a lot of her time. And she invests money. She's been buying Realtor.com leads since 2017. She buys different zip codes. She tries different things. She tries seller leads. She tries buyer leads. And she's a great agent. She reaches out to people. They call her years later. Right? Hey, my water heater just went. Do you know anyone? And she's there. Right? But what part of it she doesn't get is she's spending more time. Right? If she had a team around her to put things on her schedule, would she do more showings? Yes. Would she take more people out to see homes? Yes. So Absolutely. That's a little point in contention in our household.
Hey,
because I'm a one-to-one person myself. I like one-to-one, right? And now Roger, he's a digital marketing agency. He likes the one-to-many approach.
And well, now that you touch on that subject, I do want to actually ask you about kind of going back a little bit to the Bankable, and then also I have something else to tell you.
Go ahead.
Going back to the Bankable, what is the importance of an online presence or of a website or not validation or SEO? Why does that even matter? Like, well, why should I invest in SEO or why should I invest in ads? Why should my website be optimized? Why should I be creating content? Why? What is that? What is that going to do for me for my business? If I just it doesn't seem like it matters. Why?
From a lay person, which I am, I'm not a marketer, right? More people can find me, I'm going to do more business. More people can find me, I'm going to do more business. The bank is going to pick up on my presence. They're going to say, oh, this may be a real business. Even though you sell refrigerator magnets at flea markets, you have an e-commerce platform that you're working with online. You have a Facebook page. You have posts on Instagram and on TikTok making or showing or selling your refrigerator magnets. You sponsor a charity locally. You are part of the Chamber of Commerce. We're looking at you being a well-rounded business. Now, let's say you are a corner store in Philly. Roger, you know the area, right? How many corner stores in Philly are there?
Every corner.
Now, that's a real business location. You think they have a website?
No.
You think they have anything but a Gmail address?
If that.
You think that they have a business phone?
Not at all.
How are they getting found?
The people walking by the corners. Just that
Foot traffic.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, could they do more business if they made a small tweak in their business and they went on Wix? And now it's terrible. I know
you ever seen the yeah, guys, please sorry, Wix, but let's not go on Wix. Let's get, anyway.
I was just picking something out that a guy like George knows. Right? I'm a regular guy. I don't have degrees. I was not a financial advisor on Wall Street. I had to pull and tug and claw for everything that I have and had and lost and regained and lost again. Because that's how business works. When you're up, it's never as good as you think. And when you're down, you're never out. Right? So as a corner store, George's Corner Store, I sell cigarettes and soda and sandwiches and newspapers. Just regular corner store. Little kids' toys, Cheetos, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
How could I grow my business? Well, if I put a website together and people could find me, what could I do? I could put an Instacart link on my website. And I could have somebody pick up groceries from the store and deliver them to people who can't actually get there right now.
Absolutely.
How much work is that for me to put that together? Not a ton. Now, a bank is looking at you, George's Corner Store. Before that, well, he's relying on foot traffic. What happens when it snows? What happens when it rains? What happens when there's a power outage? What happens? Now, if they're looking at me and they go, oh, wow, he's got Instacart on his website and 30% of his business. So when you come to the bank and you look at your financials, well, 30% of your business is on Instacart? That's great. What did you do before that? Well, I made 30% less money. What do you plan on doing in the future? What do your numbers look? What do your projections look like? Huh? Well, I need to sell more stuff. Well, how do you plan on doing that? Huh? Well, do you plan on changing your hours? Are you offering a deal? Are you expanding into new territories? Are you expanding into new product lines, new offerings? Now, with the advent of technology, and remember I told you in the beginning of the call, and I set this up on purpose, I had to write away for a credit report. The appraisal came back in 2 weeks with pencil drawings and Polaroid pictures. Now in the mortgage business, you get a credit report in about 10 seconds. There's something called DU, Desktop Underwriter. You can run and look if that person's approved right away. And if you follow those steps, and if you can meet everything that's on there, your loan's going to close. But it's going to give you the idea right away of what to do. Instant gratification. Right? Today, the banks have that too. So let's talk about credit in general. I worked in you know what ANS is? Abraham and Strauss. Is that a department store that you're familiar with?
No.
It was a Northeast brand. And when I worked at Abraham and Strauss, I sold housewares and I also sold electronics. Right? We had a credit department. Do you know how the credit department decided on whether or not you were going to get a credit card?
Huh.
The lady in the back came out and looked at you. And she either said yes or no.
Wow.
Now, there's all sorts of lending laws and violations and all sorts of great stuff that we could talk about that went on back there. But that's how it was. And do you remember the machines used to run a credit card? And so you could run that Visa up and no one would tell you if you're over your limit or if the card was stolen or if you got somebody else's card. How many times are they going to ask you for ID with that Visa card? Remember the Visa card with the big word Visa on it? Do you remember? You're not old enough to remember that, right?
Yeah, no.
They had these credit card machines that they would run across, boom, boom, and it would never go into a computerized system. They would have to send those slips away, right? And then you would get a bill 30 days later, and if you were over your limit, you had to pay it. But what prevented you around Christmas time? Let's just talk about that. You've got $1,000 credit limit, and back in the day, that was a lot. But you're spending $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. Nobody knows you're over your limit. How are they going to know? There's no computer for the rent. They ran it through a manual system, and you were on your honor. Now, bring that back to banking. Mr. Jones in upstate New York owns a stationery store. Well, everybody knows Mr. Jones owns a stationery store. He walks into Chase Bank and they're going to give him a loan because they know Mr. Jones. He owns a stationery store. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Right? All of his money's in Chase. Well, we know he's got money at Chase. It's not a bad risk. Now, how many Mr. Jones are out there right now? And if Mr. Jones is going to apply for a loan, do you think they're going to take him at his word? Or do you think they're going to do a lot of research into him? Is the technology available? This is my point. The technology is available for that bank to make an instant decision. Is there any human touch really involved? No, it's an algorithm. Now, you and I, sir, as business owners, are we personally invested in that response?
Yeah.
Is the bank?
Not at all. They're getting all the applications a day.
Do they care?
No. On to the next one so somebody's approved.
So they built a better mousetrap. Now, we have to understand that. And we have to work on, are they going to tell you what your FICO SBSS score is? No. They're never going to tell you what it is. And you can't buy it. But you know the formula. It's simple. It's just like the personal credit formula. Personal credit, 35% of your score is based on your payment history. 30% is based on the utilization ratio of revolving accounts. 10% is based on mix of credit. 10% is based on depth of credit. And 15% is based on inquiries, right? So your FICO SBSS score, 35% of that is based on your personal credit history. How are you as a person? Because if you're not whole as a person, they're going to have doubts about how whole your business is going to be as a business. Does that make sense? Is that really a true representation of the business? Probably not. But this is what they're looking at. 30% is based on the financials of the business. How many NSFs have you had? Anybody doesn't know what an NSF is? Non-sufficient funds. You bounce the check. Or does anybody write checks anymore? So you bounce the transaction. Right? You're overdrawn on your account. How many of those do you have? If you have none, that's great. If you have some, that's bad. Is one bad? Yes. 15% is based on your other 3 business credit scores, Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet. So now we know, Roger, that there are those gurus out there and entire companies developed just on the Dun & Bradstreet score. It's really worth 5% of your FICO SPSS score. Is that a valuable entity? Now, I'm not hating on Dun & Bradstreet, but it's no, I would never do that. But it's just not what's accurate, right? It's like believing in stuff that you shouldn't believe in. And I'm not going to say Santa Claus because I still believe in Santa Claus.
Hey, don't say Christmas is coming. Don't say nothing to not get no gifts.
Well, the Grinch may be coming. Right?
Oh man,
let's call the bank the Grinch, right? You go to the Grinch, and the Grinch says no. Right? Why? Tell me why. Well, because it came up in the system that you didn't qualify. But why? Well, because you didn't qualify. Now, does that banker have a better response than that? Sorry, Mr. Wisniewski, it seems that once we ran you through the system, you don't qualify. Can you tell me why? No, that just says you don't qualify. Okay, great. Now, we know why you don't qualify, because your FICO SPSS score is too low. Your revenue is too low. You haven't been in business long enough, right? All these factors are going to contribute to that. Are they going to tell you? No. Do you hate that bank? Yes. Are you always going to hate that bank? Uh-oh, I've got a new message here. Let's see what this says.
You said the Grinch. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna get this edited in so the people could see it. But I want you to see this and since you mentioned the Grinch.
I am the Grinch. Oh, I love it. That's awesome. I love it. Roger and I were working on this the other day. It just came organically, like most stuff does, right? Here's the bottom line, guys. And here's the end of if you don't know what you don't know, find out. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. If you can get funding, great, get funding. Your ultimate goal is to go to a bank and get funding without paying a 12% fee. How do you do that? You have to figure out what you don't know, and you have to learn. And your business needs to grow up. When we talk to business owners, I'm going to ask pokey questions like, are you a business owner or is this a side hustle? Oh, this is just a side hustle. Well, then you shouldn't do it. And what do you mean? How much time do you devote to your business? And do you think a bank is going to lend you money if you devote 10 hours a week to your business? Probably not. What do you need the funding for? Well, I want to make this my main source of income. Well, then you have to put some effort into it. And it may seem harsh, right? But I think that the internet has ruined the business funding for everyone because the perception is you can just open a business and get funded. The banks are standing in line to give you money. They are not. Plus, there's a lot of fraud in business funding.
Absolutely.
You've got a good credit score. You're going to get $150,000 in business credit cards. You're going to pay. You're going to run them all up. I don't have to pay them. Well, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to take your credit history away. Now, you get an SBA loan and you try that, they're going to file a UCC filing on you and take all your personal assets away. Is it a good idea to defraud anybody? No. And if you're in business to do that, get out of business. Do you remember, you've never seen The Honeymooners, have you?
No.
So Ralph Cramden was a bus driver in Bensonhurst in Brooklyn. that he was always thinking about a get-rich-quick scheme. Right? Do they ever pan out? No. Well, I can do this, and I can do that, and I can get this money that way. I can get that money. Don't do it. And that's what the internet shows you. There's a nice big flashy side. Bank of America will give you $40,000 for being a business owner. How many times have you seen that reel?
Yeah, all the time.
Now, if somebody went out there and said, we can give you money, but it's going to cost you a 12% funding fee. The interest rate's going to be really high. The term's going to be really short. But you need to understand what you're doing with the money. How many people are going to click on that? No one.
In this weird world, they go for the over dramatized, they apply, and then they get scarred, denied.
Now, what does that company want? When they're giving you that option to get 0% APR business funding overnight, what are they looking for?
That well-qualified person.
Data. They have your data. They've captured your data. In the marketing world, sir, are you in the business credit business or are you in the data business?
Absolutely data.
Just like I tell people McDonald's. You know what kind of business McDonald's is?
It's a real estate business.
It's a real estate business. And if you don't know, find out.
Absolutely a real estate business. Not a burger business at all.
Not a burger business. And do you know why McDonald's gets picked on all the time? Consistency. They offer a consistent product. You can go anywhere in the world and get McDonald's. It's going to be pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean the McNuggets are going to be bad in one spot and great in another spot? That really depends on when they come out of the fryer.
Yeah.
Right? But you know that product is going to be the same. In that movie, The Founder, did you ever see that with Michael Keaton?
Not much of a TV person.
Well, you know what? Too bad. Watch it. It was a great movie because what Michael Keaton as Ray Kroc, the founder of the franchise of McDonald's, what his journey was in that movie was not just about a restaurant or real estate. It was about consistency and about each franchise owner selling the same product. And he would go from McDonald's to McDonald's. And McDonald's in Texas, they were selling tacos, McTacos. McDonald's doesn't have tacos. Now, what are you doing? You don't sell tacos. You sell hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, and soda. And that's what the menu was, right? Now we have the McRib that's back for a limited time every year. Never be released. I love the McRib. But
shout out to McDonald's.
Shout out to McRib. Is it a terrible product? It's a guilty pleasure for a lot of people, right? Do you know there are websites devoted to when the McRib is coming back?
Oh yeah, McDonald's was my first job, funnily. So it's the McRib holds a very love-hate special place in my heart.
So McDonald's is a testament to what a business could be, right? Now, the guy who sells refrigerator magnets at flea markets in Wisconsin, can he expand? Potentially. Do people like frogs outside of Wisconsin? Probably. Can he expand into a Christmas frog or a Christmas Grinch? A Grinch is green, frogs are green. I mean, probably with a few tweaks, you could make another product there, right? But the consistency of the product matters. The consistency of the business owner matters. And the two things that every business owner needs are money, working capital, and leads. Two things, money and leads. With money, you could buy leads. With leads, you have money. Right? So put yourself in a position to understand your business, to find out what you don't know. And what other questions do you have, Roger? I know we're going for a long time now.
Yeah, I don't want to hold you. To be honest, there were too many questions. So I do.
We'll do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. I do.
And if anybody has questions they want us to answer, ask, please.
Yeah, please, guys, in the comments, ask questions in the comments. and we're gonna do our best. We're gonna go question by question. I'm gonna make a list. We're gonna answer comments, all of that stuff. So definitely, like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is what it is.
Do it.
Huh?
People don't know to do it. They're not going to do it, right?
Right. It's going to be somewhere around in the, just do it, hit the button. And, we're going to have a lot of content. We're going to be talking about a lot of these things, all of this stuff that leads, bankability, everything. We're going to overflow you with value.
I hope I can find this on YouTube because I want my friends and family to see it.
Oh, you will. You will. This is actually going to be up soon. Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Thank you for coming, George. The one thing I did want to tell you is you said your girlfriend does the real estate one way. As appreciation for you coming on, I offer my services to your girlfriend. She could definitely. We have a ton of systems and tools that
I was hoping that you would say that, right?
So definitely. Let's
you're only a state away. We have to get together anyway. I'm in Philadelphia. You're in Maryland.
Yep.
Once the weather gets a little bit better, possibly.
Yeah, the wind over here. Yeah.
The wind is not good here today.
Yeah, I'm hoping this transaction closes soon, and I'm my wife and I are gonna buy a little plane, so we'll be looking for places.
Oh, we're gonna be best friends, then.
I'll fly over to you.
Well, I'm kind of larger than your average bear, so you gotta buy a plane that I'll be able to fit on.
Oh, trust me, guys. We're gonna have more than one plane. It's a beautiful business, aircraft leasebacks. But if you're interested in that type of stuff,
well, I know somebody that's in that business.
Beautiful business, beautiful.
The buffet. The buffet is in that business, right?
Absolutely, NetJet. Yep. Beautiful
all right, sir.
Business.
Always a pleasure, Roger. My pleasure. Talk to you real soon.
Take care.